Alright, let's talk about The Conjuring 3, or The Conjuring The Devil Made Me Do It. I wish they just would have called it Conjuring 3, but I get why they're going with this title. It very much fits the story that they're telling here. So, yeah, The Conjuring 3, what is the plot synopsis? Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren take on one of the most sensational cases of their careers after a cop stumbles upon a dazed and bloody young man walking down the road. Accused of murder, the suspect claims demonic possession as his defense, forcing the Warrens into a supernatural inquiry unlike anything they've ever seen before. So this one was directed by Michael Chavez, the guy who directed The Curse of La Llorona, and this is written by somebody else. This is not the same writers as the first two Conjuring films. So yeah, you can kind of tell when you're watching the movie. What are my thoughts? What are the things that I liked about this one, The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It? I like that this movie returns some certain elements of the first two films that make it feel like a Conjuring sequel. Things that are important to make it feel like it belongs in this franchise. Things, just little details that I really appreciated. Like the opening title card, it's the same title card that scrolls up. I like that. Like it wouldn't be the same. It's like when you watch a Star Wars movie, you expect the scroll to happen, a long time ago, galaxy far, far away. That's this version of that. The Conjuring, boom, just rolls up. You got that music cue. You got the same similar music cues in this movie. You even got like the same long tracking shot throughout the house that introduces the family, just like in the first two. You got the end credits tapes that are being played, and that room of collectibles that they keep collecting, all the cursed items. You see that room in one scene, and it ends with them putting yet another art little object in there. So just little things. I like them bringing back those little elements that make it feel like a Conjuring sequel. And I love that this movie keeps bringing back the same actors to play even just the smaller roles. They could have introduced new characters or, recast them if they weren't available, but they make sure that they bring back people. I think you even got like the same actress. I'm pretty sure it's her. I didn't look into it, but it looks like her. It looks like her grown up here because this is 1981 now, and the other two were in the 70s. You got the same daughter actress, the actress playing their daughter, the Warrens. She's back. You even got Father Gordon, played by the same guy. They bring back that one dude in the first movie, Drew, like the South African actor. He's in this movie. He's playing a little bit of a bigger role in this one that he did in the original Conjuring. So I like that they're bringing back all these little smaller characters. They're in this one also. And of course, this movie would not be a Conjuring film without Ed and Lorraine Warren being played by the wonderful Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. And in this movie, the Warrens are the star of the show. It is focused on them mainly throughout. There's no real character focus on anyone else. It's their story here. They're trying to solve this case. It's an investigation movie. And I like that. I like that it freshens things up a bit. It's not just exorcism, haunted house stuff throughout like the first two. It had to do something different. And I like that we even get to kind of explore their past a little bit. We don't really see too much of their history, but we get just enough to know a little bit more about them. And I like that this movie opens up like the last act of an exorcism movie, and you even get like the Exorcist poster shot of like the priest outside with the hat on and the briefcase. So obvious callback to the original Exorcist poster. But it opens up strong. You got this exorcism going on, some body contortions, and it just starts pretty strong. And so I like that. It just kind of gets that stuff out of the way in the beginning so that the rest of the movie can just be the investigation. And another thing that they do here to freshen things up a bit is that they add a human antagonist into the film who is working with this evil. So that was different. I like that. I'm not sure if that was in the trailers. I hope that's not spoiling too much, but you figure that out pretty early on. And so it's not, I'm not going to say who this person is, but I like that. I like that we got a human antagonist and it's not just some demonic, force that we're dealing with only. As for any like nitpicks and things I didn't like as much, I wished that James Wan would have been at the helm here directing this movie. I feel like it should have been directed by him. He had a hand at helping with like the story. He didn't write it, but he got like a story credit. He's a producer, so I'm guessing he was on set some of the time and has some ideas. But he should have been directing this. You can tell it's not him directing when you're watching this. And so that was a bummer. He directed 1 and 2, and now it just feels like something's missing here. He should have directed. And I don't care for the look of the movie overall. The color palette, and the cinematography, it's like there's some good shots, but when it comes to like lighting, just the way the film looks overall, There's like most of the movie is very dark, like too dark, like pitch black. They just use way too many shadows. Like it's just pitch black throughout. A lot of the scenes look alike no matter what the location is. They're all like lit the same way. I just didn't care for how most of this movie looked. And that's a shame, because the first two movies I talked about how I love the cinematography, I love the way those films looked, and now in this one I'm complaining about it. And another thing that most people probably won't like about this movie is that it doesn't have very many scares, because like I said, it's more of an investigation and trying to gather evidence and find out who is this person that's causing this, and it has way less scares than the first two. In the first two, it seemed like once shit got going, every 5 minutes you got something, some kind of creepy moment, some scare. In this one, you got a couple of scares, and the ones we get are generic, and they're just very predictable. There was one good kind of eerie moment in a morgue. I'll give that scene some credit, but outside of that, like, there's not many scares in this movie that got me that weren't predictable. And I feel like a little missed opportunity here is they should have used the daughter character of the Warrens here, kind of like in the first movie, have the villain in the demonic forces kind of target her also, and kind of give her character more of a presence in the film, because she's barely in it. Have her in the movie also, and they have to, fight this evil before it gets her, just like in the first one, when Annabelle's at her house. Kind of bring her character into the fold also, up the stakes a little bit, because now it's no longer like, the Warrens, that Ed and Lorraine, that are in the crosshairs, but also their daughter. Just up the stakes a bit, up the tension. They should have included the daughter character more in this story, if you ask me. But final thoughts, I still enjoyed it. I think it's a good Conjuring sequel. I don't think it's as good as the first two, because if you watch my other two reviews, I said that, those movies are so damn fantastic that they're like neck and neck, and I'm like, I don't know which one I like more. I can easily say that I don't think this one's as great as those. Maybe if James Wan directed this, insert some more good scares in here that are effective, maybe it would have been better. But I like the story they were going for. I like that they were doing something a bit different. They weren't doing the same formula and story as the first two. Haunted house, just focusing on the family, the Warrens coming to help the family. They did that twice, so they're doing something different here, so I like that. In the movie, despite almost being like 2 hours long, it didn't feel long. I felt like it clipped at a good pace. I was never bored, so I recommend checking it out. It's a good movie, so when it comes to The Conjuring, the devil made me do it. If you like the first two movies, I think you'll like this one. Just lower your expectations a little bit, and when it comes out to DVD and Blu-ray, it's worth adding to your collection. Go out and buy it. And those are my thoughts on The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. What did you think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below. Where does it stand in your Conjuring ranking or your whole Conjuring universe ranking? Is it your least favorite, most favorite? Let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, Auf Wiedersehen.